Welcome back to Bibliophiles Audio
You
Files.
stole it from me.
Yeah.
That's rude. I look forward to this.
You can go ahead.
Golly. With what? You done did it. You done it. Golly. Okay. Saw you wrong, man. My southern come out. Okay, today we are doing Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. It is the first book of... Shut up. It is the first book. My cat is being extremely clingy tonight, so if you hear her, disregard. It is the first book of the Knockemout series. It is on Kindle Unlimited, and it is $5.99 on Amazon.
Yep.
I think we both wanted to read this one, is The Where.
Yeah, it was really, really hyped up on like all
everything.
the book places.
Yeah.
So it kind of just had to happen.
Yeah, I've been waiting for this one for a while. So, I gotta go.
Yeah, ma'am, you're the one with the description.
Bro, listen, I am tired. It's currently 12:30 a.m. Bearded bad boy barber Knox prefers to live his life the way he takes his coffee. Alone, unless you count his basset hound, Waylon. Knox doesn't tolerate drama, even when it comes in the form of a stranded runaway bride. Naomi wasn't just running away from her wedding. She was riding to the rescue of her estranged twin to Knockemout, Virginia, a rough-around-the-edges town where disputes are settled the old-fashioned way, with fists and beer, usually in that order. Too bad for Naomi, her evil twin hasn't changed at all. After helping herself to Naomi's car and cash, Tina leaves her with something unexpected. The niece Naomi didn't know she had. Now she's stuck in town with no car, no job, no plan, and no home, with an 11-year-old going on 30 to take care of. There's a reason Knox doesn't do complications or high-maintenance women, especially not the romantic ones. But since Naomi's life imploded right in front of him, the least he can do is help her out of her jam. And just as soon as she stops getting into new trouble, he can leave her alone and get back to his peaceful, solitary life. At least that's the plan until the trouble turns to real danger.
Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay, the trigger warnings are sexual content, abandonment, gun violence, domestic abuse, kidnapping, death of a parent, infertility, and addiction.
So for reviews on Storygraph, the average rating is a 4.1 out of 5. This 1 star I found, this is what I was chuckling at right before we started recording. Mm-hmm. So 1 star, is this your favorite because you think it's good, or are you just really horny? There is no reason this had to be as long as it is. The writing is not good. If you're here for a poorly written novel, this is for you.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm. So 5 stars. This book was amazing, and I can't wait to start Things We Hide from the Light. I loved all the characters, and the 11-year-old is hilarious. I laughed reading this and almost cried because I didn't want the story to end. On Goodreads, 4.19 out of 5. This person did a 1 star. You know, a 36-year-old woman did not call a male genitalia a magical wand that cast orgasm spells and a weapon of mass destruction. Meg sends her beau is a 43-year-old man that acts like a 3-year-old having a temper tantrum. Update, I finished and I hate men.
Man, these comments are just going at it. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
That's probably my new favorite bad review on any of these books. That's terrible. I love it.
So 5 stars. The way I forgot to write a review for this, embarrassing. Anyway, I adored this book so effing much. I've been on a small town kick lately, and this just did it for me. Knox, y'all, and then the 2 emojis, the one with the red face and the sweat and the, you know...
The hot one.
And then the one where it's got its eyes closed and blowing out of breath.
Mm-hmm.
There's honestly just something about a small town man named Knox. But Naomi was the star of the show for me. She was hilarious and such a good person. Way better than I'd be in her situation, that's for sure. She was also obsessed with coffee. That's my kind of gal. This book was funny, emotional, and had some spice, so of course I had a lovely time. And then there's a quote. You make broken things whole again, me, and you made me whole. And every time you smile at me, I feel like I hit the lottery again.
Aw, that was really sweet.
Mm-hmm. And Amazon. So 4.5 out of 5. 1 star. The title of this review says, cheesy book. One of the worst books I've ever read. Don't know why it got 4.5 stars. I usually rely on reviews when I buy a book, and this one proved this method wrong. I only read it because I hate to leave a book unfinished, and I thought it might get better as I read. Unreal romance with unreal details and events. If you're a serious reader and looking to get STH out of reading a book, definitely skip this one.
Well, what's the point of reading a real book? Like a real life book. The whole point of reading books is to get out of your head and like out of your life. To me, anyways.
Same.
It's not something to just pass time. It means something. I guess it's different for other people.
Yeah. 5 stars, super glued. I have read thousands of books of all genres, and I can wholeheartedly say this has been the best read. And I can wholeheartedly say this has been the best read ever, and will probably hold that title the way Knox holds Naomi. Every detail had me turning just one more page. I couldn't put it down. This is my first book of this author, and cannot wait to read more of her work. And that's that. Mint. Took a minute.
Yeah, we got there though.
Meow.
Take it away, James.
There's some spoilers coming up, sweetie. You better cover your ears.
Okay, I would like to start off this episode by saying my sister-in-law is pregnant.
Yeah.
And she's naming her son Knox.
Has she read this book?
No, she doesn't read books. I read this book before she told me the name, and I am so glad, because there is no way I would have been able to finish this book knowing that my soon-to-be nephew, to be born, would have been named Knox. Because this book got some spicy in it.
It's a little spicy.
And it's a little spicy, and I do not want to hear that name ever again. So,
Oh, well.
because I told my mother-in-law, I was like, well, I'm really glad that I got this book out of the way, because, you know, the main male character is Knox. And she was like, well, just think of a different name. I'm like, I can't. Like, it's really hard for me to do that. So
Depends on the situation.
when I read Knox, what am I supposed to say, Kevin? So this isn't Home Alone. No, but it was making me like a little bit uncomfortable. But you know, It is what it is. But that review, when it said something about a small town, you know, guy named Knox, and I'm just like, hey, I'm fixing to have a small town guy named Knox in my life. Not in this way, though.
No. Oh, my first note. When I was younger, I never thought I'd ever like beards, but here I am.
You've said this in a previous episode.
Have I?
Yeah.
I think I did, yeah.
I'm pretty sure you have.
I feel like I remember.
It just keeps, the mind just keeps changing.
Well, yeah, but like, no, I think I remember mentioning that when we were... But yeah.
I don't remember which one it was. Beards have always been a thing for me. Just, I think it's because everyone in the South has one. Do people up north not have a lot of beards? Oh, do you have a bunch of baby-faced dudes up there?
I guess.
Ooh.
I don't know.
You just walk around seeing naked hamsters everywhere. No, I told my dad, I'm like, every time you shave your face, you look like a naked rat to me, and I can't even look at you. I cannot look at you when you do that.
Internally, sometimes I think that too.
Yes. Like, I will show up at his house one day, and he'll be, like, clean-shaved, like, head and face and everything.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, what did you do?
He does everything but eyebrows.
Yes.
I'm sitting in the kitchen, and I'm eating, and he comes in, and he's like, all right, tell me the truth. Did I miss anything? And he turns in a circle, because he wants to make sure he doesn't have any patches. Yeah. And I'm like, nah, you're good, man. And he's like, are you sure? Because I don't want to go into work tomorrow and be made fun of for missing a spot. And I'm like, nope, I think you're solid.
I think you're solid, man. I mean, you look nakeder than a naked mole rat, you know? No, I can't. I can't stand baby faces. Nope.
No.
Especially not after you've seen them with a beard, because then they just look 12.
Yeah. James, don't ever do it.
Jerry, you don't have a beard, but that's okay. You're just stupid. So, I've never read a trope that had an evil twin scenario in it. Have you? Would that be considered a trope? I think it is. Because it is like the plot of this story.
Part of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I have either. No, I don't know. I've read a lot of books this year.
Yeah.
You know how many books I've read this year?
What is it? I know you checked right before we started.
100.
Oh, congratulations. You reached it. I don't know how many I got. I'm not going to look.
I upped my goal for the year now.
What is it? 200?
125 by the end of the year.
Do you think you could do that? You've only got like a month.
Well, with how many books we have for the month, plus I'm trying to do some of my TBR in between, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm kind of cheating on the story graph. The bonus epilogues count as a whole separate book, so really it's 103.
What do you mean?
Like, there's bonus epilogues that you can download. for the series.
Oh, okay.
So they're counted as separate
makes
books
sense.
on Storygraph.
Okay.
So I kind of cheating there. So
Cheating. I am the opposite. I think I'm getting into another book funk because it was taking me like 2 or 3 days to get through a book, and now it's taking me like 7 to 10 days to get through a book. And so I'm like really struggling. I think it's mostly because I don't have time to sit down and read right now, because between the holidays and kids and then part-time working on the weekends, I'm dying.
there's no time.
There's no time. Like, I have time to sleep. I don't have time to eat or anything else. I have time to sleep and build children.
That's how I felt like the last 2 months.
Yeah. My kids aren't sleeping again. They started sleeping for like a week, and now they're just like, no.
No, never mind.
Yeah, never mind. Not some guy being rude and she's like horny.
Honestly,
Me?
same.
When guys mean to me, and I'm just like, oh.
I wrote down here, first chapter starts strong, but I don't remember what was written in the first chapter. Like, I remember what happened, but I don't remember what was said to lead me to that comment.
It was the first chapter?
First chapter.
Yeah. I remember she accidentally ran into him at the coffee bar, and she was like telling him off, pretty much.
Maybe that.
Yeah.
I think.
Which is something that I didn't like about this book, was her excessive need of caffeine. I like caffeine.
Me too.
All I ever drink is, stuff with caffeine in it. Don't try to put water down my throat. And it's always like, she walked in with 2-gallon-sized cups of coffee. And I'm just like, that's really cringy.
Yeah.
Like, just say she's holding a coffee.
Yeah.
But I don't understand
I
why
get
that
that.
kept getting, me bothered.
I get that. I was kind of thinking the same thing, but not as strongly as you are.
Yeah. It's not really an ick, but kind of like a,
Yeah.
it's kind of like a,
Going back to tropes, I realized I have a favorite trope now, I think.
What is it?
Male main character and female main character despise each other.
Yeah. So basically enemies to lovers kind of deal?
But more intense.
Yeah.
Like hatred.
Yeah.
Because when I started this book, I was also trying to go through my TBR and I was reading another book. Like, literally the same. Like, honestly, that one book was very similar to this entire series just by what happened and the characters and stuff like that. So it was really interesting to read at the same time this book, and it was
That
called
one.
The Schemer by Avery Flynn.
Oh, I love Avery Flynn. Yeah.
So I was reading that book by her, and honestly,
I think I have several of her books on my TBR.
I have a couple, but I don't know. It was just funny reading two books that were like exactly the same at the same time without intentionally doing it.
Yeah.
But in both ones, the trope being the
Enemies
main
to
characters
lovers.
hate each other.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm starting to get into that one. My favorite will always be like forced proximity, one bed. I love that. That just gets me giddy.
Yes.
So Tina, the twin sister, stole her car and ransacked her room, leaving behind an 11-year-old niece Naomi didn't know about. No car money, just a child.
Yep.
I would be flipping, which is she was. So
Yeah. Good.
Granted.
Smart.
fair reaction.
Waylay?
Yeah, the daughter's name is Waylay, and Tina is a very crappy parent. Like, I'm really glad Naomi stepped in and got Waylay, or Way. And, like, in the book, if you haven't read it, the whole joke going on about Waylay and then the dog Waylon is that they're both nicknamed Way, and so they always get confused about who's being called at the moment.
Sis, I was getting confused reading it.
I was too, especially listening to it in the car like you do as much. That has to be very confusing. I love how Naomi's car got stolen, and one of her main concerns was that she had a stash of honey mustard pockets in her car. Or honey mustard packets, my bad. But apparently a guy had ran through a guardrail and survived off hot dog packets. Nope, ketchup packets for 3 days because it was in the middle of a snowstorm. And so she was like, always be prepared. I would die.
Me too.
I don't eat condiments. Any of them. I don't care what they are. It's a no for me. I like to choke.
Well, you're just going to have to find a different snack to keep in your car.
I know, but like something that ants are not going to get into.
Sealed packaging.
Children. I have plenty of those to snack on.
Oh, on the same lines of no money, no kids, whatever.
Yes.
So no job because she quit, ran away. No house or money. But sure, you're allowed to take this kid in. You have
Yeah.
no stability.
Oh, no.
The state's perfectly fine with that.
Honestly, as somebody who's been through 3 adoptions, no. Like, no, that would not fly at all. But I guess since it's a small town, and then, like, the chief of police, I don't think he called anybody, Nash. Like, I don't think he called, like, CPS or,
No, they had to
DHR.
call. They called social services because
did?
they had.
Oh, they did. I remember that now.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they had
And then, like, even though the social worker only saw her in, like, the worst of possibly times, yeah, like, all throughout the book, it's, like, 3 times, I think. I'm gonna show you a bird. Like, 3 times throughout the book. It's always the worst timing. And this girl's just like, oh, you got it. Parenthood's rough. Like, the speech she gave her, like, that made me feel really good. But honestly, this lady should not have had a child.
No. But maybe, you know, Knox might have pulled some strings.
I think he did.
I think so,
I think it specifically said that he did, because
Yeah.
he wanted her to stay with Naomi.
Yeah. Speaking of Naomi, I love her.
I do too.
I love her fire.
Yeah.
Just
Very
her personality.
feisty.
The fact she called him Viking.
Yeah.
Ah, that's funny.
Sis ran out of her wedding, car and money stolen, become a guardian of a child she didn't know existed all in 48 hours. No wonder she guzzles coffee.
True.
I forgot to write that note. Yeah, because the first, few chapters of the book, I was like, okay, she likes coffee. But then it started mentioning it more and more and more. And then I was just kind of like, I don't really...
Yeah. Fair. So, she gets set up in this house, right?
The one that Knox
Gives her,
lent
pretty
her?
much.
Yeah.
And then she goes outside the next morning after sleeping in there. And then, for some reason, he decided it would be a great idea to go outside into the backyard while walking his dog and just taking a leak.
Honestly, it's a man thing. When me and Nick were house hunting, he wanted a house with no neighbors specifically so he could pee off the back porch. That is a requirement for men. They got a wank, they can pull it out anytime they want.
I mean, did he just, like... I'm talking about Knox.
I was going to say, I honestly lost count of the times that my husband has peed outside anywhere that we're at.
But, like, did he, like, forget that Naomi was next door?
It was early in the morning, so maybe he thought that she was still asleep and just didn't think about it.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
But, like, I understand why he would pee outside, because it's, again, just a man thing.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why he'd do it in her backyard.
Well, technically the house's backyards are right beside each other. No.
Whatever.
No, but bro, for real, should have, like, thought about that. But I guess because he was groggy and, like, he was tired because he hadn't slept in a couple days.
Fair.
Oh, but he was like, yeah, I know where you can stay. It's this cottage, and it belongs to... did you say Liza or Lisa?
Liza.
I said Liza J. I was making sure. But, yeah, Liza J. And I thought it was going to be his mom, but it turns out to be the grandma.
Yeah.
So I was close.
I figured out it was going to be someone, like, close to them.
Yeah.
'Cause, like, it just kind of threw me for a little bit of a loop when he said grandma, and I was like, oh.
Yeah. Liza said that no rent, like just utilities, and then help around the house occasionally. I thought that was really sweet.
Yeah. So later we meet her best friend, Steph. I love him.
I love Steph, yeah.
And it was so funny when she was recounting everything to him. And he's just sitting there, like, talking about all the different tropes that are happening in her life right at that moment. And is annoyed with the fact that she hasn't hopped on Knox's bone yet.
Yeah, he's a real one.
Full mood.
Do you prefer Knox or Nash? From the first book standpoint.
From the first book standpoint?
Yes.
Knox.
Knox, yeah.
I don't know. Like, Nash is sweet and all.
He's not right.
But no, I like Knox more. I don't know. I kind of just like the
Chemistry.
chemistry.
Between her and Knox, yeah. I like how they told her she sounds like a dictionary. They being Knox and Ash, because they were fist fighting in the driveway, and she pulls up like, "What are you doing?" And then they started arguing with her, and then I forgot who it was. I think it was Nash. But then Nash was like, "Well, that's funny coming from somebody who talks like a dictionary." That made me laugh really hard.
So, at some point in time, Naomi takes Way to Whiskey Barber.
I think it's whiskey.
I think it's Whiskey Cuts.
Something.
It's Whiskey something.
Yeah, it's the barber shop that
Knox owns.
Yeah.
And she gets her hair cut, post breakup.
Yeah.
Can I just tell you that a post-breakup haircut is so exhilarating? I've done it before.
New girl.
Well, the reason why I did it is because my ex really wanted me to cut my hair because my hair was kind of long. He really wanted me with short hair, and I never did it because I didn't want to. And then he dumped me like a week after Valentine's Day.
Oh.
So 3 days later, I was just like, snip, and I cut really, really short. Like, maybe like chin
Is this like
level.
Paris short?
Paris short,
Yeah, okay. That's what I'm wondering.
Maybe a little bit shorter because it was like fresh cut. And then I'm petty, so I made an Insta post with Emily together and I, because we were just hanging out that same day or a couple nights later, and I captioned it, "Eat your heart out," because I'm so freaking petty.
Yeah. Look,
And
I
knew
finally did it.
I knew he was gonna look at it.
Yeah.
But the whole it was just exhilarating being able to change myself just in
For
spite
you. Yeah.
but also for me. I love Knox's nickname for Naomi being Daisy / Days. I honestly prefer that name better than Naomi.
I prefer Days or Daisy over Viking.
Really?
Because Viking was not, it just seemed rough. Like, I get that's like his
Personality?
Yeah. How do you naturally come up with Viking in a conversation?
That's fair.
Daisy or Days, I can completely understand that because those are like soft nicknames.
Well,
But Viking just seems weird.
that's not the reason why. I mean,
Yeah,
she's
she had
soft,
daisies in her
but
hair.
she had daisies in her hair.
Yeah.
That's the whole reason
It's like,
why.
I get that, but like, why does she call him Viking? I never understood the correlation.
Because he was very brute when they first met.
Yeah, like, I get that, but why Viking? There's like so many other words that could have been chosen.
Well,
but
what would
instead
you
of
have
Viking,
picked?
I don't know. Brad? No, I don't understand Viking. Like, I don't know why. Like, that's the same with the coffee thing. I was just kind of like, like, a little bit turned off by that. But, like, I don't understand where it comes from. Brad.
We're just going to call this one Brad.
What would you call him? Brad? No, I don't know. Brad? Oh, I really like Sloane, like the librarian.
Yeah.
Because she just sounded like, I don't want to swear. What's a non-sweary word for kick? She sounded cool beans.
We should just come up with a dictionary.
Cool beans.
Cool beans means kick. So jump into when they meet the parents, Naomi's parents, right? And, her and Knox, roughed it up in, like, the bedroom, right? And then she comes downstairs and she's trying to hide all his clothes. And then he just comes downstairs in at least pants. And her mom is just making all these guesses about everything without letting her get a word in. And I'm
the
like,
dad's just like, please stop.
yeah, and she just keeps going. And I'm like, can you shut up? Like, let her explain, because you don't even know why she's there in the first place, and you won't even take a breath to let her tell you.
I was trying to find my note about that because I remember writing it down. Right after, oh wait, hang on. Nash has been shot, but will survive. Naomi went to the hospital to check on Knox, and he kissed her. As soon as he left, he went to her house, and they got frisky. Smut is a 5 out of 5. Right after, knock on the door. Surprise, it's her parents. She was in a nightgown. Knox is in boxers. Then they talked on the back porch, got handsy again as a social worker shows up. They're practically naked. And like,
Oh yeah, that was one of the other
like
times.
the first or second time that the social worker showed up.
I think first.
Yeah, and it's just like, we're half naked on my back porch. Oh, they were arguing because he was like wanting to buy her a phone, right?
Yeah.
And so they're arguing, and he pointed out that the E fell off on her BlackBerry. Speaking of which, I had a BlackBerry. That was like my favorite phone ever. Did you ever have one of those?
I don't remember.
Man, they were my favorite. That was my favorite phone. I honestly sometimes wish I could go back to it. Anyways, and she thought, dang it, E's in a lot of words. And that sent me because when I was younger, I got grounded from vowels because I was mean to my brother. And coming from a homeschool kid who only plays Minecraft, you use vowels a lot because you have to type. And so it was really funny because, let's see, I was mean to my brother. This was Minecraft days, and my brother played with me so he could tattle if I, broke the rules and used a vowel. I could only talk to James because he was the only one who understood the assignment. So I stand James.
We stand James.
We stand James, yeah. I wonder if he remembers that because, like, she was mad at me because I was being mean to him. She's like, you know what? I don't know where she got this idea from. She's like, you know what? I've had enough. You're grounded from vowels. You're not supposed to use vowels. A-E-I-O-U, sometimes Y. Do not use them. And I was laughing because I thought she was joking. And then I realized, hey, she's pissed. And I'm just looking around. I'm like, are you serious? And then she was like, yeah, I'm serious. Go try to play your little game without using your vowels and see how far you get and see how aggravating it is because you aggravate your brother. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I was grounded from vowels for a week.
How? You know what you should have done? You should have been petty and just started speaking words without using the vowels.
She almost made me get to that point because I started aggravating Garrett again because naturally I'm a
Oh no.
and she was like, okay, I took vowels away from your game. I'm fixing to take them for real and then you can't say and then I was just like, okay, I'm done.
I don't remember where they were going in this scene. I just wrote here, in quote, Nash said, "We're coming." And then right afterwards, Knox said, "We will be later." Oh no, Naomi said, "We're coming," and Knox said,
We will be later.
And
Man, I love that. There's so many options, like so many things in this book that he just tacks on at the end. I'm just like, that is so funny.
that's 1,000% something I'd say. Mm-hmm. That's why I had to write it down. Knox coming up with the period package.
That was my next note. The boss is making a monthly care package for the waitresses' periods is so sweet.
That is so... yes.
Because it's all a bunch of women in a bar.
And then Shark Week. Jump into later-ish, I guess. I don't know how later this is. Of all times for Knox to break up with Naomi, and he chooses when she's in the most danger.
Yeah.
Like, he knew.
Was it like that trope that it's like, okay, well, she'll be safer without me?
I think so.
Why? It's always men that do that. I've yet to read a book where a woman did that. You know why? Because women are smart.
You know what? I want to know if someone has wrote one with a woman in it, and I need someone to recommend it to us so we can read it.
If you know of a book where the woman was like, we can't be together because you're in danger, but is obviously wrong, let me know.
We will read and review it on the podcast.
Naomi had a fight with a teacher that was mean to Waylay because her husband slept with her mom.
That whole...
Oh, so yeah, I forgot my next note. So yeah, Naomi was screaming at this teacher, and then Knox was like, okay, let's go. Took her to a remote place, and they had truck relations. I guess he likes moms. Get that boy some MILF. He did, obviously.
That was a really nice scene, though.
That really was.
Where, like, literally everyone came to Waylay's defense.
And she was, like, surprised because she's never had that before.
Yeah.
That made my heart feel better.
Yeah.
And then they had sex.
Yeah. So, this was after they broke up. I don't remember exactly what was happening, but you think you'll understand. I wrote, man, I want to strangle Knox. What WTF is wrong with him?
Because, he broke up with her, then he sad about it. And I was like, bro, that's on you, my guy.
Yeah.
And then, like, everyone in the town was telling Knox that he screwed up.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're just like, man.
They're real ones.
Yeah. Because they saw it, even if he didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I forgot why they had broken off, but it was because his dad, Knox and Nash's dad, is a drug addict. Mm-hmm. And then he realized that Naomi was like his drug because it was a crutch that he couldn't live without, which is what his dad described drugs as to them. Mm-hmm. And so it was because he was scared of her becoming his crutch. I remember I wrote that down. What's your next note?
Mine has to do with the conclusion. Do you have anything before the end?
Okay, a couple things. I write way more notes than you do.
Yeah.
Lena, Knox's ex, showed up and kissed Knox in front of
I hated
Naomi.
that.
Yes.
Oh,
showed up and just gave him a big old smooch. And this was like right when he was trying to fix things with her. Mm-hmm. And then she took Naomi and Sloan out for drinks. And I was like, girl. But it turned out better than I thought it did.
To a biker bar?
Knox called the cops because Naomi and Lena wouldn't pick up their phones. That's a tad overbearing. Nash and Lucian came to babysit. Yeah, I remember that was the bar scene. And then Tina pulls up and tells Naomi she needs help. Naomi falls for it. Mm-hmm. Gets kidnapped. Tina's boyfriend threatens to shoot everyone if Waylay doesn't give him a flash drive.
Yo, hold on. So, after Tina drags her all the way over there for help, right? Mm-hmm.
Help.
Steals her car, her money, ransacks her hotel room, so she has, like, literally nothing. And yet, she calls for help again, and she still goes and says, yeah, sis, let me help you out there.
One thing, yeah, that's family. Second thing, excuse me, after everything she's already done, no thank you. Knox made up with Naomi right before she was kidnapped, so he finna go ham.
Mm-hmm. Man, that kidnapping scene, though, the way they, like, switched it up, I loved that.
Yeah.
Really smart.
Yeah, the way that Waylay turned out to, like, be the key to some stuff. Mm-hmm. Knox, Lucian, and Nash rescued the ladies. He asked her to marry him. Liza gave them her house, and Tina is in jail.
HEA.
Oh, Tina also signed over her rights of Waylay to Naomi.
HEA.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he wanted daisies in her hair for their wedding. I cried when I read that.
So sweet. Like, he was just like, I don't care what we do for our wedding. I just have one condition. You need to have daisies in your hair. And I was like, oh.
I know, I cried. I love this book. Like, every minute of it. I, like, at the end of the series, I cried when I finished the last book because I didn't want it to end yet.
That's fair.
I couldn't do it. It broke me.
Do you know what was really sweet? I can't remember. Did you read the bonus epilogue?
Did you read it?
I did.
Okay, can you tell me? I think I did, but just to be sure.
It takes place years in the future, right? And Naomi and Knox come home with adoptive kids.
No.
You didn't?
Oh no.
Listen, when I'm on Kindle and I go to the end of it, it automatically pops up, rated on Amazon, you're done.
You can move that out of
Yeah,
the way.
like, so I X out of that and I continued clicking and it just kept popping that up. So I assumed that meant it was done.
There was a link on the page.
Oh, no, I didn't click on those.
You missing out on some
on my
top
Kindle,
tier content.
My Kindle's messed up because when I click on the links, it shows a white screen and a loading symbol, and it never moves past that. I have seriously set it down and let it sit for 15 minutes, and it doesn't go past that.
Have you tried doing it on your phone?
No, I don't read on my phone, but
Well,
I should have.
you can download it that way
How many
because
kids did they adopt?
2.
Aww.
And this was like when Waylay was like older.
I remember in the third book it mentioned Knox and Naomi going through fertility specialist.
Yeah.
I didn't realize
So
that
they
was
were-
setting that up.
They were doing, yeah, pretty much. It's not, well, yeah, I guess. So yeah, they had fertility issues, and then eventually they decided to give up on all that, and they ended up adopting these 2 kids that were like brother and sister.
Aw.
Waylay's a little older at this point, obviously, but it was really, really sweet. And then all the families there, but they don't hint you at anything going on. The family, like they said, oh, Nash is married with his wife, and his kids are here, but they didn't say
Yeah.
anything about
Oh my
it.
gosh.
So
I
really
didn't
sweet.
read those. I need to go back and find those.
Girl, you need to.
That sounds
But
really sweet.
anyways, I don't remember if this was like the actual epilogue in the book or if it was the bonus epilogue, but it's the fact that Waylay called Knox dad.
I don't remember that, so they may have been in the bonus.
It was so sweet. And I was just like, oh.
Yeah, that's probably later because she never called Naomi or Knox anything but Naomi and Knox.
Yeah, did she eventually call Naomi mom?
Not that I know of. Maybe in the bonus, but not in this book. Not in the series.
If she didn't, I'd understand it, but the fact that she would call Knox her dad.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I think she may have, but more in like a joking way. Not like a serious
Maybe.
way. Yeah. Do you have your buzz comments, ma'am?
My buzz comments says, nervous reading, because it's so hyped up, but I'm really glad that it lived up to the hype.
It did.
It really, really did.
Those reviews that saying they were like 1 star or worse and they sucked, I don't understand those. My buzzwords are happily ever after, small town, and unputdownable. Because once again, shower read.
Yeah.
I have never had book trophies. I don't read a book and then keep it. I might have to with the series. This was book worthy. Trophy, nope.
I have a whole
Book
Amazon
trophy.
wish list of book
trophies.
trophies. So, it's on there.
I loved it.
What was your rating?
5 out of 5.
5 out of 5
Oh, girl, we both got a 5 out of 5.
Right? It just made me so giddy reading it.
I love
so
this.
it kind of had
The
to
whole
be.
series was just amazing. Which one was your favorite? First, second, or third?
Third.
Third? Yeah, mine too, hands down. Because, like, we were at the book fair, and I was selling these book earrings, and so I had, like, the whole series, which is, of course, I forgot the first book, because I'm dumb. But I had a lot of the second and third book, and, like, so many people were like, oh, the third is the best one. Have you read it yet? But, like, the third's the best one. Like, that's my favorite.
I don't remember that, but
I know it was like this one girl in particular, like even her grandma was there with her, and her grandma was like the third's her favorite. And I was like, that's so sweet that she knows that. But I see why.
it's sweet. Yeah.
It was amazing.
Speaking of earrings, we're working towards making a website for these earrings.
Yes, we're working on it. But
Working on a website.
if I could sit down and make earrings, that would help.
That's true.
I keep meaning to. I really do keep trying to set aside time to do it.
Well, I was thinking we can do it more by you make a couple of examples and we post pictures of those.
Yeah.
And then we have like a whole separate.
I still have some left over from the book fair. They're in my room.
Get a nice little photography display of them.
Yeah.
Just
I've
one,
been meaning to.
one of each, like this set in one picture.
I was
this set
looking at those
another.
at Ross today. I should have stopped and got like earring holders for, pictures like that. So I might go back and get that.
Getting a whole separate tab where it's just like, don't see the book you like, tell us what you want here, and you'll make it for them.
Yeah.
You know,
I'll make it.
you'll make it. But we're working towards something like that.
I know. I really hope that we can get that started.
I hope so.
I'm also wanting to make bookmarks if I ever get around to it. I have the stuff to do it. I just don't have the time to do it. All right. Well, so since this was a 5 out of 5 read for both of us, you ready to wrap it up?
I am.
All right. All right. All right. All right.
All right, all right, all right. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. I didn't ask for a history lesson. But man, our fast food journey is extensive. Anyways, we hope you guys enjoy this episode. We will see you again next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.